Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. 2 videos in one day, and I wish I was talking about a Tyrann Mathieu extension or something like that, but no. We got to talk about the breaking news of Frank Clark being arrested out in Los Angeles. He is in LA County Jail as we speak after he was pulled over for a routine traffic stop, and then the police officers noticed a Uzi, an automatic rifle, in his back seat sitting in an open duffel bag. My goodness, this is stupid on so many levels, as Frank Clark has been arrested just days after Chiefs minicamp came to an end last week. This is simply bad decision-making, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Frank Clark should know better than to drive around with an automatic weapon in his back seat in an open duffel bag. You shouldn't have an illegal weapon to begin with. If you do, though, Frank, zip up the bag, put it in the trunk. It was a routine traffic stop. It doesn't sound like he was completely being searched or on suspicion or anything like that, but the gun was just sitting in the back seat. I just don't understand this thought process from Frank Clark. What is your one-word reaction to the Chiefs defensive end getting arrested? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. There is certainly a ton of words that would be worthwhile from you guys. Let me know what your first word that you think of is when it comes to this specific story. My one word, it's just stupid, man. This is so freaking stupid by Frank Clark. I don't even know where to begin. Like I said, dumb to have an illegal firearm in the first place. But if you're going to have one, put it in the trunk or zip up the duffel bag. Like, what are you doing? Oh, sorry, officer, I left my Uzi in the back seat. Just ignore that if you would. Like, what? Like, what are we doing here if you're Frank Clark, who, by the way, has a troubled history already? This is a guy that has made some bad decisions in the past and had a checkered past when the Chiefs traded for him back in 2019 from the Seattle Seahawks. Don't believe me? Check out the timeline. 2012, pled guilty to second-degree felony home invasion while at the University of Michigan. Okay, fast forward, 2014, kicked out of Michigan for misdemeanor domestic violence, was brought up on charges for that as well, and now in 2021, he has been arrested for illegal possession of a firearm. This is stupid, this is idiotic, and more importantly, it's very, very frustrating. Get subscribed to the Chiefs Report, because whether the news is good or bad, we're going to cover it here on this channel. I'm not going to be the guy that just goes on and talks about good news all the time. If Patrick Mahomes ever gets arrested, we're going to talk about it here on this show. The latest Chiefs news, rumors, more coverage when it surrounds the Kansas City Chiefs. So don't miss any of our coverage. It's youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Hey, I'm not happy about this news, but it's my job to bring it to you guys. So subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. You look at the depth chart now, because we need to talk football reasons, because who knows, Clark could get suspended. Couple of different depth charts to look at. This first one is Clark and who knows at defensive end, right? This is a position of need, or at least a position that is fairly thin. Now, Chris Jones, as we go to this next depth chart, is expected to play a decent amount of defensive ends. Steve Spagnuolo has confirmed that. Chris Jones is excited about that. But now, I think that's even more important, because after Frank Clark, for true defensive ends, if you don't include Chris Jones, who's next? Taco Charlton, Michael Dana? Defensive end is not a major position of strength if you don't consider Jones a true DE, and Frank Clark could get suspended with that checkered past. I would not be surprised if the NFL hit him with a 2-game suspension. Now, you know, we have a lot of time to go. The Chargers could get dropped, and the NFL could let this go, but typically guys who have histories, especially a guy who has a domestic violence charge in his past, even though it was dating back to college, that's not something the NFL typically is going to look past in today's NFL, so he could definitely miss a few games depending on how this case plays out, which would be unfortunate, because while Frank Clark has certainly underachieved based on his contract that the Chiefs gave him, he's still the best edge rusher you have. Again, if you're not including Chris Jones, Jones is better in my opinion. But either way, at minimum, this is a surefire starter on your defense and a guy who can get after the quarterback. If he is not out there, that is a significant blow. You think Chris Jones is getting double teamed now? If Frank Clark's on the field, he's going to get doubled on every single play, and that's just a trickle-down effect of a guy getting arrested and potentially getting suspended, which could be the case for Frank Clark. Should the Chiefs sign a defensive end? Get your votes in on this one. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I thought they should have maybe looked at the defensive end market before this. Melvin Ingram, you bring back Justin Houston. There's guys out there. I would at least explore this because, A, you're already a little bit thin there, and B, like I said a few times now, Clark could get suspended. Y for yes, N for no. Get your votes in on whether or not you think the Chiefs should sign a defensive end. Now, Frank Clark can be a dominant force. We know that. That's why the Chiefs traded for him. That's why they paid him $100 million. We saw in the playoffs in 2019 just how good he can be. He was critical in the Chiefs' Super Bowl win over the San Francisco 49ers a couple of years ago. He had 5 sacks during that playoff run. He had 2 or 3 sacks of Jimmy Garoppolo in the Super Bowl. He was all over the place for Kansas City. Now, he's been up and down. He's been inconsistent. Like I said, he's probably underachieved based on the contract he got, but this is not the headline you want to see on a Monday afternoon. It's just not one you want to, I'm about to pack up and go home for the day, and I'm like, oh, TMZ, Frank Clark gets arrested for illegal possession of firearm in Los Angeles. Like, what do coaches always tell players between minicamp and training camp? Stay in shape, stay out of trouble. Less than a week later, Frank Clark is arrested for a second-degree felony. I mean, it's just an absolutely ridiculous story. I think second degree. I need to double check. Either way, a serious charge of an illegal firearm out in Los Angeles, which, by the way, is not a gun-friendly state to begin with in California. So people may have to step up. We'll have to wait and see if a guy like Taco Charlton is going to step up. Michael Dana, will Chris Jones play some more defensive end if he is suspended? I would certainly think that could be the case if Frank Clark misses some time. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully, the charges, not necessarily get dropped. If he got arrested for an illegal weapon, he should certainly get in trouble for that. But maybe that gets misdemeanored out and that gets handled in court. Either way, it's frustrating. It's stupid. And for a guy who's already had a couple of passes in the past, just not a good look overall for Frank Clark. Want to remind you, subscribe. Link below, youtube.com/Chiefs TV, not Chat Sports TV. That's our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, which you should sub there as well. Hey, I get it. It's frustrating news. It's not exciting for anyone. But you know what? We tell you guys the truth, and we keep you guys up to the latest surrounding your Kansas City Chiefs. So hit that red button. Share that link with a friend. It's youtube.com/Chiefs TV. Just to circle back to the news of the day, Frank Clark has been arrested. He is in L.A. County Jail for illegal possession of a firearm. Bad decision. Hopefully he learns from it and gets back to the Chiefs and is ready to go for training camp and, of course, week 1, if he's not suspended, for the 2021 NFL season.